What is going on, investors? Back again. Time to talk about Realty Income Corporation, ticker symbol O, one of the most recognizable REITs in the stock market. They pay a monthly dividend. The forward yield right now is at 4.85%. Not sure if it counts this after hours drop. So we're right there, right around 5% yield on this one, about $2.81 per share on the dividend. Always a little overvalued. If you really dig in and hunt for your REITs, you're probably going to find better value, but Realty Income is probably one of the most recognizable and most heavily covered REITs. So it tends to get a little bit higher valuation, in my opinion, because of that, because it's in so many people's portfolio. Now, they just reported earnings today. We see in the after hours, the stock is dropping, but it's basically gave up the gain that it made during the regular session. They announced about 93% of contractual rent came in. We'll talk about that here in a second, and then we'll jump into the numbers as well. They announced that they're increasing our 2020 acquisition guidance approximately $2 billion. So that's pretty nice. That is how this company is going to grow. Obviously, they could pass off rent increases and things like that to grow income. But during these times when people are not necessarily doing the best in terms of business, might not be the easiest thing to do. So they're going to grow through acquisition. That's something that you would love as a shareholder. So we see your percentage of contractual rent collected by months as of October 31st, 2020. So we see the month ended here back in July 2020. We see sitting right around 90%. So that's pretty nice. We see, again, look at our investment grade tenants. So these are the big boy. They're all paying their rent. We see from top 20 tenants, it comes in a little bit lighter than across their entire portfolio. Realty Income has some exposure to the theater business and also the restaurant business, which is coming in a little lighter, obviously, than a lot of these other businesses as well. But we see for the quarter ended, we came in at 93.1%, little less than the previous period and a little less from August, but it's up from just slightly from July. And then when they gave us a read on October, which is nice too. I mean, this quarter just ended. So they gave us a read on that. We came in a little lighter in October, quite a bit lighter actually on the top 20 tenants, but the investment grade tenants are still paying their rent. So we'll see what happens going forward with this. I would expect actually these numbers to keep sliding probably for another quarter or two, maybe even, 6 months or so before you start to see a turnaround in that. But let's jump over to the operation numbers. So what I'm going to show you first is statement of income. And then what you want to do really with these REITs to analyze, especially from a dividend perspective, is fund from operations. Typically, I would just jump right into funds from operations, but I want to show you something kind of weird. We see net income attributable to the common shareholders. It went from 101 down to 23. So you're wondering what the heck happened? Why is the stock not selling off even more? I'll explain it up here. So we've got rental income, including some reimburses. So we came in at 372 in the previous period, all the way up to 401. So that's a positive. We got a little bit of other income here as well. Total revenue went from 374 up to 404. So that's a solid beat in, again, a difficult time to be a commercial real estate, investor. And here for the 9 month, we went from about 1.1 up to 1.2. So look, these are solid numbers. Now, here's the interesting thing. We've always got depreciation. So we've got that here. We've got some interest. That comes in here. We've got some property here. That comes in here. General administrative, income taxes. And then finally, take a look. Provisions for impairment. So Realty Income is recognizing some impairments related to the crisis, mainly in the theater business and some of their other businesses that just simply cannot be open, cannot run a business, cannot make any money, and are struggling tremendously. Take a look. It was at 13.5 in the previous period, all the way up to 105. Holy moly. Take a look for the 9 months. We went from 31 up to 123. That is a gigantic increase in impairment provision. So take a look from the net income down here, earnings per share, just totally tanked it basically. I mean, we went from 32 cents down to 7 cents, but that's not the full story. Okay, I want you to take that into account when we take a look at funds from operations. So this is actually the funds we're generating from the operating business. So we came in at 20, again, we pulled down this really, really low net income number because we earned 101 million in the previous period, all the way down to 22. This got to be one of the worst GAAP net income numbers that Realty Income has ever posted. Might be the worst, but some of this stuff is not necessarily cash, like depreciation, that comes back in, and then our impairment costs come back in here as well at 105. We've got some other stuff going on here that gets us a diluted FFO right here at 283. That compares relatively favorable to the previous period at 262. If you look at it from a 9-month period, we went from 760 up to 850. So all things being equal, take a look. Things are actually pretty much flat quarter over quarter, or period over period is a better way to say it. Year over year is another way to say it as well. Came in at 82 cents, came in at 82 cents. Obviously, you'd like to see that growth, but again, times have changed since last year, and we would expect that to continue going forward, at least for the foreseeable future. I would expect for at least the next 2 to 4 quarters for Realty Income's FFO per common share to be under some pressure. But let's take a look at that dividend. Let's see. What was our dividend here? We were at 281 for the last 9 months on the diluted FFO basis. We're at 248. So they're going to be right there, okay? REITs have to distribute, I think it's by law or by requirement, about 90% of the net income that they pull in. So, these numbers are going to look really tight. Let's just give them credit for another 80 cents. So that would be 320, almost 325, 330. That's plenty of room to pay this dividend and probably increase it just marginally going into the next year. So all things being considered, Realty Income is holding up pretty well. Let's jump over to the stock chart. Let's take a look at what we've got going on here. So this stock is kind of waved out, okay? So we had this pretty big decline. This stock was up in the $80 range, and it bottomed out close to 40. It's recovered nicely, but it's kind of waved out, like the airline stocks, like a lot of stocks that are still under some pressure. This one is kind of waved out. We've kind of peaked up here into the $65 range. We've bottomed out several times in this, we'll call it $55, $56 range. Now we're right here. We're actually really close to a level, actually what I would consider a pretty key level on this stock. We're sitting at $57 in the after hours. That's about at the bottom of this range where you see this stock has bottomed out numerous times, and it just bottomed out. Now, from a bearish perspective, this stock, we made a high here. We made a high here, lower high here. Look what happened. The stock sold off. And then finally we broke this high, and that allowed us to come and make a new high here. But unfortunately, made a high here, made a high here. This is a lower high. This could potentially be another lower high. And if this green candle is our high, so we're down here right now, say this is our high and we trade lower, well, that would be lower high, lower high, lower high. We are in a very, very, very defined downtrend on this stock right now. And so I actually don't necessarily see this one bouncing back in the shorter term. In the longer term, I think this is a nice buy and hold type investment. Get those dividends reinvesting, gets a little bit of income into your portfolio. You get a 5% yield now, but I think you could potentially wait on this one. This one could pull back into this $57 range. Let's zoom this out to kind of a monthly view. Let's see if we get a little bit better perspective on this one. So here we're at here. I see. So there's some spots here that should act as some support on the way down. You see we made some highs back here, and you could probably have pulled that trend line back up into here. It was support here, all along here was support. Once we firmly kind of broke that, it was kind of off to the races here with this one. I don't think we retest these highs anytime soon in this stock. I actually think we could come all the way down right at this $55 mark would, in my opinion, be an interesting spot. I don't think I'd jump right in. Like I said, we're at a very critical level, in my opinion, right now, right at that 55, 56. If you want to pinch pennies, probably closer down to 55 would be an interesting one. I would set a stop loss in this one underneath that $50 level, because if we break this $50 level, notice here it acted as some support here. It was close to our tops here. If we break that, we could retest these lows. I don't know if we'd come all the way back down to these lows down here at the $38, $39 level. I think you'd have to have some really negative momentum, not only in the stock market, but probably the health situation and shutdowns in general. And so that could be, that could be on the horizon. We'll see what happens, but there's some spots here. We're actually pretty close with this one, but just understand that this stock is kind of rolled over here. And until it starts making some higher highs, at least on the daily chart, I wouldn't expect this one to get into rally mode anytime soon. So that is a Realty Income Corporation. We are down in the after hours, but we pretty much just gave back what we did in the regular session. This is not a stock that's going to jump around wildly. You are going to collect this 5% dividend. So if you buy it right, it should be a nice position in your portfolio. I should have added that I do own some shares of a Realty Income. That's it. We'll be back again soon. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Good luck with your investments.